All right, well, it's been a while, but here we are again, and the excitement is that this has arrived. Thank you very much, Jim at Tangent Engineering. We're going to play with this burnishing tool, and it's by no stretch of the imagination the unabridged be-all end-all answer of the capabilities of this here burnishing tool, but we're going to start with what I consider to be one of the more irksome materials, which is 1045 steel. And I know that that's what this bar is because it once upon a time was a new bar, and it was the leftover from a much longer piece that just gets stashed in the corner with all the other things that age like fine wines. So we know what the material is, and it started out life turned, ground, and polished, as they call it. And here is a somewhat this is a similar piece of 1045, smaller diameter, but that's the turned, ground, and polished finish. It's hard to see on the camera, you know, what that surface finish is, but that's sort of the, you know, one of the better finishes you can get out of the box. And everything that you do to it thereafter, unless you resort to lots of emery cloth, usually involves or usually results in a less than perfect surface finish. And it can be very trying to get anywhere near a nice finish on this. Over the course of time, I've gotten higher quality carbide inserts, and fortunately, having a relatively big stout lathe, I can spin this at you know, very high rates of speed and get acceptable surface finishes that way. But I can still do better with the burnishing tool, and I also believe that I can get there in about the same length of time using more affordable inserts and more attainable spindle speeds. When you're turning 3-inch diameter material and you're shooting for 1200 or 1500 surface feet per minute, that's fine enough. But when you start trying to put the finish pass on a 5 1/4 inch bar, are we really going to be spinning that at speeds that are approaching insanity, when we're got whatever it is, 12 or 14 feet long in the machine? I say if we can get there turning at a more gentlemanly pace, then all the better. So let's have a little bit of fun. We're going to take a roughing pass on this to get rid of the factory finish. We'll probably hog it down to somewhere in the range of 2.5 inch, and we'll put a couple different finishing passes on it, and then we'll run the burnishing tool probably over the whole length, or part of it will be done with, let's say, oil, and part of it will be done with coolant, and we'll be able to map out the different cuts that we've taken on it and see the resultant finishes. And I've played around with this a little bit last night, and I've got a wee bit of a recipe that I like, but we're gonna expand on that a little bit and try some different parameters that maybe will be helpful or illustrative to what you might be up against in your own situation. In a way, this is the miracle sort of Bob Ross tool of machining, in that you can't really seem to go wrong with it. It doesn't, it's extremely tolerant of every surface finish you leave behind from the turning operation. Jim published an in-feed of about 7.5 thousandths, where you touch off till your ball bearing rolls, and then come off the part, feed in 7.5 thou on the radius, or 15 thou on the diameter if your DRO is diameter reducing sort of thing. That magic lucky number 7 is what I consider to be about right. I've played with it, pushing harder and pushing less, and that's a very nice number. It doesn't particularly load the tool too hard. It doesn't load the machine, or you're not cranking away on your cross slide trying to get tool pressure on there. And yet it does seem to do its magic on the surface finish. You don't have to go pushing a whole bunch of metal about. It also seems to be quite repeatable at about 0.5 thousandths per If you're taking one pass with the burnishing tool, it'll reduce your finish diameter by about 1/2 thousandth. I haven't played with multiple passes enough yet to come out with the be-all, end-all answer there, but that's a good starting point. So we'll do the roughing segment here, and we'll maybe get rid of this video because it's already up to 5 minutes. We'll rough it, post the video, and then come back once we've done a little bit more turning. How's that sound?